And our Time for Discovery friends are sharing the piece today by giving you a word or phrase. So let's give them a chance to spread out. I don't think, have you guys got a word or phrase over here? You want to come over here? We'll spread out some words and phrases that could come in handy in a little bit, because you're going to help them out a little bit today, because it's a group project. Democracy is a group project, and so is church. And we're talking about both today. Make sure grown-ups, you might need some help, and then later on, too, get some help from grown-ups if you get stuck on some words. They'll be okay? Okay. Okay, yeah, maybe if they listen, if you're a reader, you might be able to figure some things out. So listen close. So now we come to the time of worship that we know as Time for Discovery. And in Time for Discovery, we study a very special book called the Bible. And the Bible is actually a book of books, and there's an older part called the Old Testament, and there's a newer part called the New Testament. Yeah, Olivia, what's it also called? Second Testament. Esther's got that down. So it's a book of books, and get older part, newer part. Today we're going to be reading from the older part. We're going to be reading mostly from the book of Exodus, but we're going to read a smidge from Genesis. Genesis is actually the first book of the Bible, and Exodus is the second, Genesis, Exodus. So we're going to read a smidge from Genesis, and it says that God made people in God's image. Pretty cool. Then we're going to zero in on this stuff right here. And I wonder, do you guys remember what these are? The hearts? What do you suppose the heart means? Love. Yep. So we've got this kind of slab here that has love on it, and then we have another slab over here that has love on it. Anybody remember what are the two kinds of love? Jesus talked about it, Old Testament, all sorts of places in the Bible. Love for God. Often we say love for God, and then love for Jesus and God, probably that same group, and then love for neighbor, everybody else, people. So we have everyone's our neighbor, so they're love. And we put these on these kind of interesting boards here because they are law. Do you know what law is? If something is a law, what's another word for law? What's law? If someone says, this is a law in my house, is it important or not important? It's important. What's a law? Bob's got something. What's a law? Or what's another word for law? Yes, like a rule. So what's a rule? Do you guys have rules at home or at school? What's a rule? Can you think of a rule? Yeah, that's a good one. No fighting at school. That's a good one. What's another rule?
No food in the living room or else you'll stain the carpet.
Oh, I love this rule. This sounds like it's from Leviticus. Could you say that again?
No food in the living room because it can stain the carpet.
No food in the living room because it can stain the carpet. Thus saith the Lord. Other rules.
No throwing food at the cafeteria.
No what? No.
No throwing food.
Yes, that's a good one. No throwing food in the cafeteria. That's a really good one. You think of another one?
No jumping on the couch at home.
That's a really good one. No jumping on the couch, Bob Brandt, at home. You got that? Got my eyes on you. Any other rules? Okay, so you guys got rules, and if a fancy word for it is law. Law. So these are rules, and these are rules from God, and we call them the Ten Commandments. And I think, okay, yeah, I got, so one, the kind of like love God rules from the Ten Commandments, John's going to be reading them. It says, God spoke these rules, no other gods but me. Don't make an idol. An idol is like another god. Don't use God's name wrong. Sometimes we say don't swear, but don't use God's name wrong. And then Sabbath. Do you guys, that's another big word. Lots of big words today. Do you know what Sabbath is? Sabbath is kind of what we're doing now. We're taking a break from work and school to love God. So a lot of times for us, it's Sunday, and worshiping is Sabbath. So those are some rules that the Ten Commandments talk about. And then in the law, love your neighbor. Be good to your mom and dad or grown-ups. Don't murder. What's murder? Okay, well, stealing's down here, but what you're doing is stealing a life, right? Or what? Like, don't kill? Or I'm so far away from you. Why am I sitting? Yes, that's one. Yeah, don't kidnap other people. That's harming them. And then not adultery just means grown-ups should be faithful if they're married. Not steal. You guys know steal. Not lie. You guys know not lie, probably. How about not covet? That's the last one. You know what coveting means? That's another big word. What if I say, I like your yellow shoes, and I feel I want your yellow shoes. Give me your yellow shoes. And then I think, exactly. And I feel like I really have to have those yellow shoes. And I'm not happy with my shoes. I want what somebody else has. That's coveting. So that's just some laws from Exodus. And John's going to read those laws out loud. God law. And then, hold on, John. We also have law as a country. And it's called the Constitution. If you were here last week, we talked about the Declaration of Independence, which is just one sheet here. And this week we're talking about the Constitution. And Phyllis again brought a beautiful plaque in that has a little piece of the Constitution. But can you guys help me count how many pages? So the Constitution, there's a picture of people signing the Constitution, by the way. Let's count the number of pages in the Constitution, which is U.S. law. You ready? I'm going to need help. Can you hold this for me? Okay. Can you help me hold it? What are we on right now? Of small print. So that's the U.S. Constitution right there. I'm going to give you the kid version in one PowerPoint. So that's the law in Exodus. Now let's take a look at the law in the United States in just a little bit, what the law of the Constitution. So I think I got a quick PowerPoint here. So it starts with now this is where we're going to play a game. So pay attention. So the U.S. Constitution, these are some important words. We, the people, want a union, join together. We want justice. We want tranquility. What's tranquility? Peace like a river. Common defense, we want to be safe. Welfare, we want to make sure everybody has enough, is good. Liberty, we want to share power. We don't want a king. We don't want to be bossed around. We want to share power among people. And we want to follow the law in 3 branches: Congress, President, Judicial. That's how we share power. And then we have a special thing about people's rights called the Bill of Rights and the amendments. Not one religion, free speech. I get to say we have the right to speak. No one from the government should come into our homes unless they have permission from a judge. So we don't let people into our homes or search ourselves unless they've gotten permission. So we respect people's rights here. Speedy trial, so if you get in trouble, you're allowed to have a judge and tell your story. No slavery, that took a while to get to in America. And women can vote. And how old do you have to be to vote in the United States? 18. 18-year-olds can vote. So that's Constitution. All right, now, there are words all across the sanctuary. While John reads, can you decide, does the word go over more here as a word from the commandments, or is the word more of a word from the United States Constitution? Or is it something in the middle? And I will tell you, some ideas are in the New Testament, some ideas are from Jesus, but today we're trying to say what is 10 Commandments and what is U.S. Constitution. Okay, you got an idea? They're different words, aren't they? They're both important. Okay, so look around, and then if it's with the 10 Commandments, there's tape up here. Stick it over on this side. If you think it's more Constitution, there's blue tape up here, stick it there. You got it? And get help. If you're not sure, talk amongst yourselves. Okay, got it? Go.
A reading from Genesis. A reading from Genesis. Okay. A reading from Genesis 1, verses 24 to 26. And God said, let the earth bring forth living creatures of every kind. And it was so. God made the wild animals and cattle of every kind, and creeping things. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, let us make humankind in our image, according to our likeness, and let them have dominion over the animals. A reading from Exodus 20, verses 1 to 17. Then God spoke all these words. I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make for yourself an idol, whether in form of anything that is in heaven above, or that is on the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. You shall not bow down to them or worship them. For I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, punishing children for the iniquity of parents to the third and fourth generation of those who reject me, but showing steadfast love to the thousandth of generation of those who love me and keep my commandments. You shall not make wrongful use of the name of the Lord your God, for the Lord will not acquit anyone who misuses his name. Remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work. But the seventh day is a Sabbath to the Lord your God. You shall not do any work, you, your son, or your daughter, your male or female servants, your livestock, or the alien resident in your towns. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that is in them, but rested the seventh day. Therefore, the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and consecrated it. Honor your father and your mother, so that your days may be long in the land that the Lord your God is giving you. You shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. You shall not covet your neighbor's house, or spouse, or servant, or animals, or anything that belongs to your neighbor. This is the word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God. Thank you. And you know what? I kept back the easy ones. So now I'm going to do what I thought were the easier ones. So do you think this is more Exodus law or American law? Moses hears God speak. One point. Which way? This way? Okay. Moses hears God speak. Over here. Honor parents. Which way? Honor parents. It goes toward this one. People wrote this in the United States in the 1780s. This way. You know what? I'm realizing I have two different dates, 1787 and 1789. So I'm, okay, 18-year-old people can vote. And the last one is not want or covet other people's yellow shoes. That's right, don't do that. Okay, thanks for helping difficult things come to life. Let's have a listen and repeat prayer. Dear God, help us respect your law and U.S. law. In Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you again. You guys have a very special thing you're doing today. If you guys finish by prayer time, you can bring in an example.